up on a Scooby snack, all your nightmares will come true.
Like what now?
Journey to a never, never come back land, filled with thunder, lightning, and celebrity guests.
Anybody got an aspirin?
Alright, welcome to the stream everyone. In today's stream, I'm going to be looking at every episode of the new Scooby-Doo movies, and I'm going to be ranking them on this tier list here. We have S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, and F tier. So, how do I sound? Am I louder, or is the background music louder? What should I change here? Haven't live streamed in a bit, and here we go. And this is a crazy one today, because these are some wild episodes. Some here are actually horrible, and other ones are actually pretty good. So let's get into this, starting off with the first episode featuring the Three Stooges. This one is crazy. And with this episode with the Three Stooges, they go to a ghost town, and the gang, it's very strange, you know, because bunch of weird stuff. The Three Stooges own an amusement park themed ghost town, and that's where we have our gunslinger and our Indian guy as our villains, and they are interesting to say the least. And as the first episode of the new Scooby-Doo movies, it does kind of still seem like we're watching Scooby-Doo Where Are You, with the Three Stooges guest stars being their cartoon, the cartoon of them, not the actual Three Stooges, and it's pretty crazy. No, this is not pre-recorded. This is live. I have pre-recorded clips, and then we're gonna move to the tier list and then do it. I'm louder than the background music. Good. If it's sounds good, then all right. All right. Welcome in, everyone. Okay, so the Three Stooges have their manager, or kind of the owner of the whole place, and the owner and his colleague, Rhino and something else, and these guys are actually the bad guys, believe it or not. The two other people in this whole episode are the bad guys, and this is the Indian here. It's something, and Shaggy's still scared of him. But anyway, in this episode, the gang and the Three Stooges get basically caved in underneath the amusement park, and Shaggy and Scooby have to save them. And that's basically the whole plot of it, besides them meeting the Three Stooges in their amusement park and trying to solve the mystery of the amusement park going haywire or something. And you know, it's something. All right, this is not anything crazy, you know. It's not like it's what do you guys think? I think personally, after watching it, it's pretty all right. It's not horrible, it's not good. I think we have to put it at a respectable C tier. So we're just going to leave it at C tier, respectfully. Next up, we have when Scooby-Doo met Batman and Robin in their first appearance in this episode, the dynamic Scooby-Doo affair. And this one is it's a very interesting episode, to say the least. The gang are driving when they just happen to stop upon this house somewhere, we don't know where, and upon breaking and entering, they see that there is a crate in here that holds they don't know yet. It actually holds a clown, which we're going to see in a second, but they do meet Batman and Robin, and we see it's a punching clown that's stuffed with money. And if you know anything about Scooby-Doo, you know that this obviously means counterfeiting, as Batman says right here, This guy's wearing a turtleneck sweater. What the heck? Abraham Lincoln did not wear a turtleneck sweater. Anyway, this episode sees a lot of interesting things with the bat milk and cookies scene here. And they meet this old lady that owns the house and stuff. And she's like, doesn't know what's happening. And then they go to this abandoned car place where they scrap cars and get attacked by this caped figure. If I can find it here, right there. You remember watching this episode on DVD and wanting to skip it every time? That's a crazy one, because I really enjoy this one. It's very classic action hijinks, and it's pretty classic Scooby-Doo besides just the runtime being long and a lot of very, scenes that went on for too long, Anyway, so they go back to Batman's place, find out that the Joker and Penguin are the ones that they think are behind this. Not the Batman one. Okay, my bad. You're talking about the Three Stooges one. Yes, I like this episode too. This one is great. So anyway, the gang go to the Batman and Robin exhibit. And there's also a haunted house exhibit right down the road. Right there. And this haunted house exhibit is the star of this episode. Because we have the Joker and Penguin in here. And they're the ones doing the counterfeit money. But supposedly, as they say when we catch them later here, they say that they're actually just doing what their boss is telling them or something. Like they're just doing what they're told to do, putting them in the clowns and whatnot. But this whole part here, Joker and Penguin are being hilarious because they're just trolling the gang throughout this haunted house. And I love this. This is great. This episode is amazing just for that. But the part that really messes it up for me, honestly, they had to do, the skeleton scene's a little funny too. But when the Joker and Penguin get caught, basically, they say, oh, it's not us, it's someone else. We're just listening to their directions. When they get caught by running in here just to land into Batman and Robin. And when they finally get caught by the detectives here and get taken away, we get a really cool scene, very ominous scene, but more importantly, the gang don't know who it is, because it's not Joker and Penguin, it's actually this person, whoever was the cape person, So they went back to the house, realized it flips, that's how it disappears and stuff. It's the house that disappears. And since they realized that, they went back there and they chase the caped person, and they find this huge exhibit room with tons of wacky props and stuff. And anyway, they catch the person who turns out to be the old lady. If the unmasking happens here, turns out to be the old lady, surprising everybody, including me. And yeah, this episode is awesome. I don't like the ending. But besides that, it's really good. I'm gonna have to put this one. That ending really makes it not it's not that good of a watch, but it's definitely my personal I really like it. So we're gonna go high A tier on this, close to S tier, not A tier. What do we think about this placement here? Yeah, Joker and Penguin are very iconic, definitely. Low A, high B. I really don't think there's that many episodes that can even top this one, so don't know about that one. But anyway, next episode we have the forgotten, not really, very much hard to find Scooby-Doo meets the Addams Family, which is not on any form of Scooby-Doo media besides one VHS. That's really hard to find. And in this one, Scooby and the gang meet the Addams Family, the cartoon of the Addams Family, which didn't air until after this episode. And here's the VHS right here. It's pretty, not even pretty. It's super rare. It's like extremely, which just has the Scooby-Doo meets the Addams Family episode. Now this episode, I personally really enjoy it. It's super fun, but it's not really there's not really a mystery going on until Wednesday becomes missing. But she is in the episode. She is in the episode, like, when the gang are here. Like, she's not missing out all of a sudden. She actually gets kidnapped or something after the gang meet the Addams Family and such. So, the mystery element really doesn't happen till later on. And we see these two old people telling the gang to not go to the Addams Family's mansion, but they go anyway. And Lurch, I think his name, the Frankenstein-looking guy, he helps the gang to the house. Yep. And this beginning of this episode is all wacky Addams Family gags. A little bit of racist stereotypes there, but it's very fun. The aesthetic is amazing, especially because there's not really a super high quality version of this episode. As you can see, this is from Cartoon Network. So seeing it in this really low quality makes it even more frightening, if you want to say that. You haven't seen this one? Not many have. You can probably find clips and bits of it. Full episode, I don't know if you can really find that. But yes, there's a lot of wacky stuff here. Flytrap lilies, weird things like attacking the gang. And it's Addams Family, and Wednesday becomes she gets, like, we see like Cousin It and whatever, like Addams Family is super cool. Really like the really iconic spooky family. And this episode really is just marketing for the Addams Family show. It's not really, this is really nothing crazy. The monster turns out to be holy crap, I'm skipping over. It turns out to be a big bird. And it's a robot controlled by these two old people that told the gang to leave. So, yeah, that's pretty much it with that. It's something. It's something. So, Scooby-Doo meets the Addams Family is a really special episode due to it not being heavily seen and being sort of not really played at all, rarely played, and I think we're gonna have to keep it in B tier, right here, B tier, because I don't enjoy it that much, but it's a very special episode. It's very special. And other than that, let's move on to our next episode with Jonathan Winters, who's like a comedian guy. So let's get into that one here. This is the 4th episode of New Scooby Movies. Here we go. So the gang go to a sort of, once again, they're just driving in the middle of wherever, and they pull up to a farm with Jonathan Winters showing up. What's my opinion on Clifford the Big Red Dog? I don't know. It's a book, right? So like, it's not really a cartoon. Well, they probably have a cartoon. He's all right. Yeah. So the gang pick up Jonathan Winters and they go to his ma's like farm or something. And at this farm, there's a scarecrow attacking and a bunch of weird stuff happening. There's a farmhand that's chasing after these two hippies that are trying to like steal stuff from the farm. There's this like secret cracker recipe that's also on the Yang Yang Yo. I don't know what that is. And Wow Wow Wasby, I don't know what that is either, bud. I have no idea. But yeah, there's these two hippie guys. Where are they? I'll find them. This guy. And flipping Goofy hijinks with these guys. They're kind of just like filler for the episode, but there is a scarecrow in this episode, and he's like he's just sneaky. He's a sneaky guy. He's not really threatening, scary, anything like that, and his goal is to steal that food recipe or something to make giant animals or something like that. And because of that, Dora the Explorer and SpongeBob is a classic. Dora the Explorer is whatever, that's not really something I would watch. SpongeBob is first 3 seasons perfect, Yep. Yeah, the Scarecrow is pretty basic design. What we will see with the new Scooby-Doo movies is very much so what we see in the new Scooby-Doo movies is very basic villain designs, even reused villain designs from past Scooby-Doo, and even in the own show they reuse a Scooby-Doo design. So it's kind of crazy. And Shaggy and Scooby find this recipe that turns things giant, and guess what eats them? The chicken. And this is towards the end of the episode. The chicken becomes a giant and just runs around, attacks, whatever. And in the end, Jonathan Winters hits the Scarecrow's head on top of the wheat mill or something, and the chicken goes down normal size, or not. I don't remember fully. And they unmask him as this old guy, who we only see in the beginning of the episode. And yeah, this episode's a lot of farmhand gags, the accents, the go do this, go do that, farmhand stuff. It's kind of it's not really, it's alright. It's not like, Jonathan Winters is funny, but I think this is going to have to go top of C tier. Only for, it's better than the Three Stooges one, only for the villain, I guess, because he's scarier than an Indian wild. I feel like the farm aesthetic might be a little better than the Western aesthetic, but they're very comparable at C tier. Not really anything crazy different here. So let's move on to a classic, the Don Knotts episode. This one very popular, almost as much as the almost as popular as the Batman episodes, maybe. This first one starring Don Knotts, because there are 2 Don Knotts episodes. This first one is kind of a letdown compared to the other episodes that we've been going up against here, but not to the extent as the next Don Knotts episode. So trust me, next one is definitely worse than this one. This one is pretty alright. It's fine. So the gang go to this haunted house. Why? I don't really know. And stalking them is Don Knotts. And this whole episode, Don Knotts kind of just dresses up as different people to I don't really know. But the reason is there's this pirate guy, and that's the owner of the house, and supposedly his ghost is haunting it. And that scares the gang enough to go investigate. And we see Don Knotts, and he just changes his costume all the time. He becomes the pirate helper for this ghost guy to tell the gang about him. They have dinner, then he turns into a maid, and then they go to bed just for these guys to attack. And this is actually a pretty unique basic design. It's unique, but it's good in that way. It's very aggressively alright. Yeah. This one, I like the villains. They're basic looking, but they're also menacing in that way. And anyway, they find out that this guy might be Don Knotts. Like, this guy, I think he's just impersonating a bunch of people, which they gang find out about, and they're like, what the heck are you doing, man? And then he becomes Detective Don Knotts, and towards the end of the episode, for the rest of it, he becomes a detective, helps the gang with their detective stuff, and very funnily, he like the funniest way possible, they capture these ghosts, and boom. And they're these two guys, which once again, we have never seen these guys in the episode. And we also haven't seen Captain Moody, which is the captain that isn't dead, so his ghosts aren't real. And he treats the gang to a dinner after capturing these two people that we have no idea what they were doing, but I think it was something to do with stealing the house. Or the deed. They're stealing the deed. Yeah. This one is something. Something, alright. So next up we have Phyllis Diller. We are confirming that. Yes. Okay. Let's go here. Alright. So, Don Knotts. Where are you going, buddy? Where's Don Knotts going to go? I feel like this episode is on the lower end of what we've seen so far, but not that bad. So, I think back of B tier, Under the Addams Family is probably the best option here. This one definitely was a humor-focused episode for sure, and it did a good job at that. It sure did. Alright, next up we have when Scooby-Doo met Phyllis Diller. Yeah, Phyllis Diller. If you don't know, which not many do, Phyllis Diller is like a sort of a comedian. She's like a stage person here, and her whole thing is a cigarette with the whole like extender, and that's her accessory for the whole episode. It's pretty funny. So the gang kind of get invited to her house after like finding her dog or something, and they're very surprised with this house. Like, it's a crazy looking house. There's a lot of medieval stuff, and normally whenever the gang go to a house in the new Scooby-Doo movies, they always look like this. There's always a night, and there's always like a bunch of weird animals everywhere. I don't know why. So Phyllis Diller shows the gang, because why not? She's pretty funny. Shows the gang all her ex-husbands, and some of them are very weird. And she makes a ton of funny gags about them, and it's really fun. And it's also really strange. So, once again, we have another butler as well. Weird butler guy. And they get invited to this magic place to talk to her ex-husbands. And some of them have died, so it's talking from beyond the grave to the ex-husbands. And this is all a ruse, because these magician guys and whatever, obviously it's fake, but their whole thing is to have Phyllis Diller tell them where all her jewels are in her secret compartment thing to expose it so they can go steal it. These people right here, so that they can go steal it. So after getting locked in, the gang make an escape plan, which kind of goes haywire, but kind of doesn't, and they make their way back to the house just for these guys. You saw them there? They're in the thumbnail of the live stream here. These goofy goobers of ghosts. They, their design's alright. It's like where are they? Let's see if I can find them here. Alright, let's see if I can pause at the perfect time to show you guys these. There we go. These guys. These guys. Pretty alright villain design here. Pretty. It's basic once more, but it's not that horrible. Now, obviously it's the magician and an assistant or something, and this guy too. And police captured them because there's the safe behind the ex-husband. In the end, everything is, can't complain with this episode. Cannot complain. This is a very enjoyable time, and it's very funny, to say the least. But is it that good? Yeah, it's a skeleton in a trench coat, basically. Yep, sure is. Now, let's see here. I'm thinking, I can't give super high scores, of course, but I'm thinking just going to put it in B tier. Leave it in B tier. We got to take advantage of these somewhat good episodes for now, because they're not going to be good for much longer. So next up, we have Sandy Duncan. Sandy Duncan is like an actor. Pretty simple there. And this whole episode is kind of around her acting career, as we see with our comedians like Jonathan Winters, Phyllis Diller, Don Knotts even. These episodes have nothing to do with what they actually do, except for Sandy Duncan. This episode is actually kind of around her whole entire acting thing, where this white-looking guy, ghost-looking human thing, is following her around. But she's actually doesn't really care. She's like, okay, she's just trying to get her film done, which is the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde film. And Mr. Hyde isn't who he seems to be. It's actually a bad guy. There's actually two Mr. Hydes, so the actual actor and then the ghost. And this episode. And Mr. Hyde is a freaky design. It's humanoid, but also yucky at the same time. And once again, super basic, but I like it, but I don't really like this episode. And 47 cartoon guys here. Welcome in. And basically with the whole thing, it's just going around movie sets, movie set gags, and Mr. Hyde kidnapping Daphne. Don't kidnap Daphne. That's the dumbest thing you can do. You're gonna get caught. Which Mr. Hyde gets caught in the stupidest way possible. After moving on to a different set, more like a graveyard set, he kidnaps Daphne, puts her in here, and gonna put her in this casket. But the gang are outside, and they're acting like they're gonna leave. And he falls for the oldest trick in the Scooby-Doo book by opening this door to get caught. I know this isn't a villain ranking, but this really shows just how goofy this villain is and how goofy this episode is. Because now he's telling him not to even touch him. It turns out to be his older guy. And don't know for sure. Kind of forgot. I watched all these episodes, by the way, but it's been a bit. This guy, they were going to close that. So the reason Sandy Duncan wanted to make this movie so badly is because they're going to close down the studio to build a mall. This guy has something to do with that, obviously. And yeah, this episode, one episode, Sandy Duncan is good, but you know, it's fun mystery wise. There's still mystery, but gonna have to do top of C tier. Top of C tier. Got that. Okay. Next up, what do we have next up? Let's see here. Play this through. Sonny and Cher. Now this is an episode. This personally is my favorite. I think it's up there. I gotta say it's my favorite. I do have some close seconds though. But wow, is this a good one? Sonny and Cher, iconic duo in performing space. Cher still does music. Pretty crazy. Sonny unfortunately passed away sometime in the 2000s, but Cher actually came back with Sandy Duncan, not together, but in episodes of Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, which Scoobytopia made a video on, which I highly suggest you watch, about the classic episodes in their Guess Who counterparts. This episode has Sonny and Cher trying to do a second honeymoon to this really nice looking place, except it rains and they're in a convertible. What are we thinking, guys? And this whole episode is just like husband and wife bickering gags, if that makes sense. Which is hilarious because it's funny. They're very like, Sonny's like, you gotta watch the episode if you haven't. But anyway, they go to the hotel. Very rundown place, which isn't really what you want for a second honeymoon. And they realize that this brochure that Sonny got from his friend in the Hollywood space is like 40 years old or something. And yeah, that's not so good for Sonny and Cher here. And the gang too, because the gang are also stuck on this island because the tide rolled in, so they're not going anywhere. And as you can see here, tide did roll in there. And imagine that island. That is a crazy island to be on. Holy. And we finally get to see the villain of this episode. The shark god. Or the shark demon. God or demon. One or the other. And the hotel guy tells them the story about this shark demon. And this scene of Daphne and Velma finding it, they were surprised. Pretty scary scene, especially for the new Scooby-Doo movies, because they can't put out anything pretty frightening. And we have Sonny more gags with his dragon thing. And since the gang cannot sleep in this haunted hotel, they go down to the wine cellar to look around for clues. And they go outside to look at other clues in the morning, and they find this bike thing and a bunch of more. This is very mystery focused, this episode, compared to what we have been seeing in the new Scooby-Doo movies. This is a very fun, sort of, kind of, sort of. But the shark god here is spooky, to say the least, because there's not one, there's two. And his design is reasonably iconic as well, because a lot of people say this is their favorite episode too. It's not just me. Like rankings and other stuff, this is most people's favorite of the new Scooby-Doo movies. For whatever reason. Turns out to be the hotel guy. Wow, the only other person we met. Shocker. And the two shark-finned people are just associates. And they have a whole gold heist going on, because they found gold underwater in a ship, and the maid is a security guy. I feel like we've seen this before, or we're gonna see it a lot more, because that's how it is, man. Don Knotts again. It's coming up on our next episode there. Sonny and Cher. Where do we want to put this? S tier. S tier. Sorry, it's good. And an episode that's okay. This episode, crazy episode. But first, I gotta check my Be Right Back stream and see how that looks. Okay, that looks pretty good. Just wanted to check that. I forgot what it looked like. I haven't live streamed in a bit. Alright, so Sonny, Cher, and S tier. We got Don Knotts' second appearance in The Wild Winds of Juneberry. I feel like that's not right. It's called something. Anyway. Actually, let me fact check it. Let's see what it's called. It's spooky fog of Juneberry. I knew it. Fog, not wind. I was getting it confused with the weird winds of Winona. Kind of easy to get those mixed up. The gang go back Wild West again, and we get to see basically we get to see Don Knotts do his character of that he plays in the Andy Griffith Show. His iconic character in the Andy Griffith Show, but he's not. It's kind of a play on the Andy Griffith Show, and he's the deputy, and there's the sheriff, and they're all like puns on the actual name, you know. I don't know why they did that. I think they did have the rights to Andy Griffith Show, so I don't understand. I guess they just didn't want to make that canon. But these episodes are all fever dreams anyway. They're not really anything. They're just crazy episodes. Speaking of which, this one is insane. So when it's nighttime, there's a lot of fog, so they're like, something's got to be something spooky because of all this fog, right? No, why would that mean anything? So they go to a graveyard and they see some very not normal things at a graveyard, and this is my reaction too when I saw this episode, because there are some crazy, freaky designs in this one. Not this skeleton though. Forget about the flipping skeleton. He's not. No, we have a headless horseman. Flipping, bro. I'm not really the best at this. There's a dinosaur in a cave. The gang go to a cave after being in the graveyard because they fall in the flipping cave, and there's a headless horseman. Why? And there's a lot more. And if you watch this episode, you'll see these really freaky designs, like a giant guy with one eye, a weird ghost person. They're very freaky and very scary. For some reason, and there is actually a meaning to this, why are they in this episode about a Western? The reason is they just they never used these designs, so they just decided to use them in this episode. So they were unused designs. Yeah, they would have made for great villains, and they were actually reused in later episodes. Some of them were of the new Scooby-Doo movies, but yes, they were unused designs. That's why they just stuck them in this episode and just lazily stuck them in this episode. So the gang walk around in the cave system, because why not, you know? And they come across the skeleton guy, so they decide to sneak up on him. Holy, I'm very bad at this. Okay. Skeleton guy. He's the one controlling the fog, the sounds, all of that with his thing. And the projections, which are the whole entire monsters that we've been seeing. So they go out to the fog and they find cattle rustlers. That's what they're doing. So they make the fog so they can, like, no one can see them rustling this cattle. So the gang decide to stop that from happening and arrest the guy. Once again, we've never seen him before. Don't you just love when that happens? And our episode ends with a pretty alright ending, you know? It's a very great take on the Andy Griffith Show, I guess. Scooby-Doo Andy Griffith collab a little bit. But it's not. We can only hope. So, where do we put Don Knotts' second appearance on the new Scooby-Doo movies? It's weird. I know I explained it weird, but, like, watch the episode. It's a weird one. It's not normal. So with that said, I'm just going to leave it back of C tier. I'm not even going to move it. I don't think it's D tier material, because if it was, then there would be a lot more in D tier, honestly. It is a fun episode. Yeah, I don't really know what to do with it besides that. It's wild. It's a wild one. Alright, next up, I think we have Davy Jones. I think. Let's find out. It's whoa! Got Laurel. Holy crap! Cannot talk. Laurel and Hardy. That's our next one here. These two goobers are way past Scooby-Doo time, as they died. They died in like 60s, maybe 50s. Yeah, I don't know why they're here, but anyway. we have Laurel and Hardy. So let's see what this episode's all about. Now, this one is a winter-themed episode, which we have not seen yet. And it does a good job at that, as not really being featured in a lot of, like, Scooby-Doo media at all, but it's a good one. And we have the classic comedy duo, probably the most famous of the 40s, 50s, Laurel and Hardy. And these guys are iconic for that. They did the silent film comedies, I think. They are iconic for that. But yes, their likeness was sold, and yes, that is true. They were used. That's why there was a Laurel and Hardy cartoon made around this time as well. That's why they're using their cartoon designs. Scooby-Doo likes doing that. With the Three Stooges, Addams Family, Batman and Robin. They're from the cartoons, not the actual person. Besides, Don Knotts, Phyllis Diller, Jonathan Witt. Those guys they're based off of what they actually look like. Laurel and Hardy, not so much. Not so much. So the gang pick them up. They go to a hotel. Doesn't this sound familiar? And they get attacked by an ice guy. And supposedly it's a Yeti. Or a snow creature. And he kind of looks like the snow creature from What's New Scooby-Doo. The first episode of What's New Scooby-Doo. Which I think maybe they based it. If we get a good look at this guy. Which we're never going to get a good look of. Because, I can't land the frame perfectly. But yeah, right there. Like, kind of that. But anyway. The whole thing is he's taking cars, repainting them, and reselling them. What a unique idea. You've never seen this episode? Well, I mean, I guess that makes sense. It has not been on a lot of Scooby-Doo media, but it's not that unpopular. So first introduction, yeah. I hope I explained it well. But yeah, so this snow creature guy is repainting and reselling cars. It's another thing where the gang are just hanging around a hotel. There's a little bit of skiing. They would have a little bit of fun with that stuff, but a lot of filler. That's a lot of snow on that house. But anyway, a lot of gags this episode because comedy duo, so it's got to be a lot of gags. But yeah, here's the cars. They repaint and resell cars. And can we see? Yeah, so there's his. So he was on stilts. Let me explain here. This guy is the hotel, like, he's like an associate with the hotel. And they capture him because they just messed up his stilts, and he falls down, trips up. And yeah, he was doing a car repainting thing, and because of that. Oh, something I did not mention. Whole reason Laurel and Hardy are going to the ski resort is for jobs. For some reason, this comedy duo do not have jobs besides, I guess the comedy's not paying enough. I don't know how, why, when, where, whatever. Strange. Very strange. Anyway, besides that, it's a pretty alright episode. Laurel and Hardy, let's see here. I'm gonna have to say, for a snow-themed episode, it's fun, it's funny, it's a kind of drag to get through a little bit, so it's so tough ranking these because they're not that good of episodes in general. But I do like snow episodes, so we're gonna put it above Don Knotts in the C tier. Starting to realize all these episodes are pretty mid. And with that said, I'm going to be right back, and we'll continue to the second half of these episodes. Alright, and we're back. So, here is our ranking so far. We got S tier, we got Sonny and Cher. We got A tier, Batman and Robin's first appearance. B tier, we have Addams Family, Don Knotts, and Phyllis Diller. C tier, we have Sandy Duncan, Jonathan Winters, Three Stooges, Laurel and Hardy, and Don Knotts. And so, let's move on here to our next episode. Hopefully a little bit better than what we've been seeing so far. The Three Stooges' second appearance. We just did that one? No, this is the second appearance of the Three Stooges. And with this one, it's a flying themed episode. Now, what would a ghost be doing in our medicine cabinet? Maybe he's looking for an aspirin. I like that scene. Alright, so, next episode, Three Stooges, second appearance here. And it's a crazy one. We see the Three Stooges wanting to fly planes now. And, I guess, he has a flying license or something. Like, I don't even... How'd you get that, bud? Also, for some reason, in the new Scooby-Doo movies, the Three Stooges are almost the same height as other characters, even though these guys are like 3 foot in their own cartoon. Anyway, we have the ghost of the Red Baron. Spooky. It's another... Do not let them fly the planes. It's another skeleton with a costume. Yep, okay. Great job, Hanna-Barbera. Great job. So yes, flying themed episode, flying hijinks, Three Stooges being the goofy trio that they are, somewhat serious, somewhat wacky, stupid, comedic. And yeah, this one is a very strange time, but other than that, it's basically the Red Baron puts fertilizer on the ground to kill everything or whatever. And flies the Red Baron, obviously the plane, and it's all about flying, man. And for some reason, I think there's like a gag or something where the Red Baron ate like jumping beans or maybe, and the rest of the episode it jumps like this, like a frog. Yeah, I don't know why. And we see it doing the fertilizer thing. Red Baron gets caught by Scooby flying a mini Red Baron and reading a comic book. God, you can't get caught like this. Interesting that Snoopy exists in the Scooby. Yeah, the Red Baron is Snoopy. You are right. Let's see if the unmasking is Snoopy. Let's find this out. I don't think it is. Oh, good thing the Three Stooges were not flying that plane. Okay, good. Anyway, let's see here. It turns out to be another guy that we haven't seen in the episode. I think we've seen him in the episode, actually, but not Snoopy, which it was. Scooby's kind of taking the role here of flying a mini plane, you know? And why does Scooby talk, but Snoopy doesn't? That is a good... that's smart. Why is that? Maybe because the Peanuts cartoons are made by a whole different set of people. Like there's not even any similarities between them. But that's just my thoughts there. Anyway, they capture this guy, ending the episode with the Three Stooges hopefully never going to be flying a plane again, because I don't think they should. It was I don't think they should do that. Anyway, let's see where this one goes on our ranking. So the first Three Stooges episode is a C tier. What about the second appearance? Personally, the second appearance, D tier. I don't like the flying. It's all filler. It's just all filler. Don't like it. I don't like it. D tier. All right. Next up, we got Come on. We got the Harlem Globetrotters' first appearance. These guys have the most appearances in every... No, they have the most appearances in the new Scooby-Doo movies. My bad. And these guys are special. They are based off of their cartoon, the Harlem Globetrotters cartoon. I made a whole video about these 3 episodes and the cartoon. If you really want to hear more about the history and stuff behind the Harlem Globetrotters, check that one out on the channel. Anyway, in our first of many Harlem Globetrotters episodes, we have the worst one out of all 3 of these, for sure. It's got to be the worst one. Gotta be. This is the pirate episode. This one's classic to me, though, because I had it on DVD, one of my first DVDs, in the VHS, and I really liked it. But watching it now, I know how lazy it is of a Scooby episode. Harlem Globetrotters are classic. They're very funny. Really like their personality. But I feel like there is a better Harlem Globetrotters episode, but there is a worse one. I think this one ranks in the middle, but it does rank pretty high on my list. If you don't know about this one, this is the Ghost of Redbeard. Even though we already seen the Ghost of Redbeard, this is the ghost of Redbeard. And he's Redbeard, but he's white, and he has his crew, but they're white. You see how scary they are now? Do you see how scary they are now? Very scary, honestly. I'm shivering. How lazy these guys are. Okay. So with this episode, we find out that, of course, they're drilling for oil. I feel like that's pretty common in Scooby-Doo. And the Harlem Globetrotters capture him by throwing basketballs at him and throw him in a net by doing that. And Swampy Pete, very important character here, he tries to get the gang off this island for whatever reason. Even though he's an undercover agent. I guess he thought he can do it all by himself. Obviously he couldn't, because he needed the gang's help here. But Swampy Pete, remember him. Look at him now. Everyone in chat, I'm talking to you. Look at him. Remember that. Thank you. Please. You're going to see him later, trust me. You'll be like, what do you mean I'll see him later? You will see him later. Anyway, they capture Redbeard and his cronies, and they go to Globetrotters versus the Skyscrapers game. Imagine your team called the Skyscrapers. You better be tall. The library my family goes to had one of these episodes on DVD. I think there is, there's 2 DVDs that have these. It's the Scooby-Doo Meets the Harlem Globetrotters and Scooby-Doo and the Pirates. Yeah, so it's gotta be one of those. Or just the new Scooby-Doo movies complete collection. Maybe. Anyway, go to a basketball game, and Scooby messes stuff up. But the Harlem Globetrotters do win, because they're a great team. And they also don't know how to play basketball. Watch the video. I think it was the Meets one, Scooby-Doo Meets the Harlem Globetrotters. That's cool. In our next episode, Scooby-Doo meets the one and only Davy Jones. But first, let's rank the first appearance of the Harlem Globetrotters. Sure, this episode is super lazy because of the villain, but the aesthetic, I love using aesthetic, like I love talking about it. The aesthetic makes it pretty good. Is it better than the Phyllis Diller episode? Chat, you tell me. I think they're very comparable, so which one should we do? Phyllis Diller or Harlem Globetrotters? Which one's better, chat? Tell me right now. I'll wait. Why didn't Bugs Bunny get the Globetrotters to help save the Looney Tunes instead of Jordan and LeBron? Maybe because the Globetrotters aren't really they are a basketball team, but they don't play the game. Like, I don't know why they didn't do that, because Harlem Globetrotters, like, they're pretty popular in the basketball scene. Like, you know them. They're the comedy guys of basketball, you know? But yeah, guys, so what are we thinking here? Phyllis Diller or the Harlem Globetrotters? Which one? Because I think I'm leaning towards Harlem Globetrotters being a better episode. You don't watch sports? I mean, I don't either, but I do occasionally. Alright, since chat is being very unresponsive with this, I'm going to just put it above Phyllis Diller. Alright. Let's move on to Scooby-Doo meeting Davy Jones. Who is Davy Jones? Let's do a little fact check here. Alright, Davy Jones is the singer of the Monkees, which is a knockoff of the Beatles. That's all you need to know. Yep, he knockoff Beatles. Anyway, the gang go to a castle. Davy Jones owns a castle. This farmer guy tells him not to go to this castle, though. This farmer guy is pretty suspicious. Why do you tell him this not to go to the castle? Whoa, can't talk. Anyway, the gang find Davy Jones trying to scare him away in a suit of armor. Why are you doing that, Davy? Why are you trying to scare him away? Anyway, Davy Jones invites the gang in. He's like, okay, fine. Tells him about his grandfather, who's still alive. I don't know why there's a framed picture of him in his wheelchair. And talking about how the castle is gonna get bought out and probably turned into something else. And because his father can't, like, afford it or something. Another spooky butler, if you saw that guy there. Another! Why is there so many spooky looking butlers in the new Scooby-Doo movies? Why? Now, his father. He's like, my father. Or grandfather. Grandfather. I don't think it's his father. But anyway. Another knight with eyes. It's every episode almost has this stuff. Anyway. Basically, it's just a lot of castle gags this time around. So, like, kind of like Hassle in the Castle a little bit. But Shaggy and Scooby go to the moat here. And we get to see one of our two villains. Yes, there's two villains. The frog monster. I guess it's kind of scary. I mean, if they're chilling in there and this frog can just eat them up. Like, a little scary there, a little bit. Yeah, shocking. Anyway, the gang. This episode I kind of forgot, honestly, but the gang try to help Davy out here. It's like, okay, well, we're gonna try to see what's happening, but what really is happening is the Horseman. The Horseman. This is the real monster, besides the frog guy. This is the classic horse guy that you've seen every intro of the new Scooby-Doo movies. This is him. He's from this episode. I didn't know that for the longest time until I finally watched this episode, and I was like, oh snap, this is where this guy comes from. I always thought the horse was just a character that they used in the intro and didn't really do anything with. Obviously I'm wrong, but I just thought. Anyway, they go to a cave. What is with these episodes and the gang going to a cave? They go into a cave, and the frog chases them while the gang hop like frogs, and the frog runs like a person and falls. The animation on the frog is kind of good too. We get a door gag. Not really. It's kind of like the Miter 49er door gag, as in my most recent video. Check it out. Anyway. They find a horseshoe, which means that ghost horse might be a real horse. Maybe. Possibly. Just possibly. I don't know for sure. But, could be. They capture these two guys as the horseman and the frog guy as the farmer guy and another dude. And instead of arresting these two criminals, they instead use them for the Haggerton Hall Castle Museum scare thing. And they're like, see the haunted horseman. And now this is their job full time. That's a strange ending. Very strange ending, and it sounds like a very forgettable episode, because it is, because I've forgotten most of it, and I've just watched it. What are we thinking about Davy Jones, chat? What are we thinking about Davy Jones? Well, what I'm thinking is that Buddy, Davy Jones here, is going in the D tier. Back of D tier. I know. Shouldn't be. I know. I think he has to. Man. But, let's go on to our next episode. We're on like the end here. Close. There's a lot of episodes of new Scooby-Doo movies, believe it or not. Alright, we got Jerry Reed. Jerry Reed. Well, obviously he's a singer. That's all I flippin' know. Jerry Reed, this episode is pretty buns. First of all, we don't even see our guest star until like the end of the episode. But I'll let you guys know once we get there. Who? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Listen, guys. New Scooby-Doo movies came out in the 70s. At least half of these guest appearances were actually popular in the 70s. That's it. Anyway. The gang sneak in to go see Jerry Reed play at his, he's practicing for tomorrow's show. And these people, these very suspicious people, are not letting him in. So the gang sneak in. Illegally, of course. And yeah, we have a maid, and we have another creepy looking guy. And obviously they don't want him here, because where's Jerry Reed? Jerry Reed is not the monster. What the heck? No, so we have these two very suspicious figures. And Jerry Reed's nowhere to be seen. But they can hear him play this one song from, it's one of the chase songs from Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And that's the only song this guy plays, so you hear it throughout the whole episode, basically. It just repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats, and oh my gosh! It's, yeah. Anyway. Shaggy and Scooby search around this stage place, because it is a music hall, so there's a lot of props and stuff, stuff like that. And because of that, it's pretty obvious that Jerry Reed's got to be in here somewhere, because he's playing a song for the vents. But anyway, there he is. Where's the gang finding him? Here we go. Yeah. So they find him from looking through the vents, and it took forever. It took forever for them to find him. Like more than half the episode. This is a 40-minute episode. They find him. And he's like, "Hi guys, I've been here for a long time, whatever, but this, that, and other thing." And they go to practice, because who cares about anything else, like how we got there and all things there. But anyway. Talks to Scooby, whatever, this, that, and other thing. His guitar gets stolen by characters. If I can flip and go to it. Let's see here. Can I do it? Yes, I can. Can I do it? These guys. Yeah. So, after springing the trap to get Jerry Reed's guitar back, Shaggy and Scooby go on a little, like, car thing that they made to try to, with the guitar as bait for these two guys. Did you see him? Did you see him? I know they flashed by like that. You couldn't really see, but check them out. Come on. It's a Viking and a Native American. No, like a Puritan. No, probably a Native American, but super white. This is a country music hall. Why would there be a xylophone? Yeah. So Shaggy and Scooby are on a xylophone while these guys are on a scooter-looking thing. Why? I don't know. And they go around, and eventually they get caught and turn out to be the only two threatening looking people in the whole episode. What a costume, you guys. All they did was just take the clothes out off of these wax figures and wear them. Great job. Great job. Congratulations. This episode's bad. Besides the fact that Jerry Reed's not even in most of the episode, and on top of his absurd playing of the same song over and over and over again. And guess what? In the end of the episode, guess what happens? Guess what happens? He performs playing the same song once more. Yeah, those character designs. I know. Anyway, it's a good ending, at least. But why does his guitar have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2? He's got 8 strings on his what? Anyway. And our episode ends with Scooby playing along to the one song that from Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Next up, first of all, obviously F tier. Gotta be rude here, but F tier. Horrible villains, horrible idea. Villains, at least the villains are like, alright, you guys have to leave and all this crap, but yeah, no. Obviously F tier. Like, not even like, no room for anything. But next up, I think we have a pretty good one. Yeah. Batman and Robin once more. Don't you guys love Batman and Robin, man? I do. They're pretty good. Especially in the new Scooby movies. They're kind of they didn't get popularized from the new Scooby movies, but like it's pretty cool. Anyway, let's see here. Batman and Robin, their second episode, last appearance, and we have the gang camping out, and guess who they meet? Joker and Penguin with the scientist dude. Now, Joker and Penguin are sneakily kidnapping this guy. They're being gentlemen about kidnapping this guy, because this guy's not like he's fine with it. He's consenting to this, and this guy has a secret design, like he has a special device, like a flying machine. And that's what Joker and Penguin are stealing to go rob places or whatever. So that's why they're kidnapping this guy, so the guy can tell them where it is. But this guy has a speech problem, and he says things really weirdly. And throughout the whole episode, he does it. He says, like, machine flying, or pieing machine, dying machine. Anyway. Joker and Penguin capture him, hide him somewhere. And they realize, whoa, there's fire there. There's kids. Why is it always the Joker and the Penguin? They're the most popular villains of the Batman series at this time. And also, we've seen them before, so seeing them again kind of gives us a little bit familiarity. Plus, these episodes aired back-to-back usually. Alright, so Batman and Robin just... they tell the gang about this professor being kidnapped to keep their eyes open for Joker and Penguin, because they are around. And guess what? Joker and Penguin hear this, and they're like, okay, we gotta dress up here. So Joker and Penguin dress up as these weird guys. And if we ever flip and see it, come on. These dudes, a troll and a tree spirit. Why? I don't know. Very unique of them, to say the least. Professor Flaky, that's his name. I forgot. Professor Flaky. Crossington washing the Delaware. That's funny. Anyway. Back to this. Scooby finds the professor and tries to help him, I think. Yes. But anyway, before that, we get a little interrogation with the Penguin and Joker. Little interrogation here. But obviously, Professor Flaky isn't going to tell him what it is, right? No, he does. he tells him. And it's up to Batman and Robin to save everybody. But there's ghosts and ghouls and bats. Giant bats, actually. Like, really big bats. And where are they? Let's see if I can pause this perfectly, actually. But yeah, there's bats chasing the gang and stuff. It's like, these Joker and Penguin are basically, as you see at the screen, it's basically a rehash of what they did in the first episode with the haunted house, but except it's in a cave, and they have cave technology for somehow, some way. But yeah, we get the ghost guy. Ghost guy's scary. Isn't that ghost scary? That's a scary ghost. Okay, let's see if I can pause this. Come on, come on. Come on. No, I missed it. I missed it, guys. I missed the very popular Scooby-Doo meme. Hold up, let's try again. No! I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. You guys are gonna have to wait for this one. Holy. Okay, I really tried there, but you know what I'm doing. That's the infamous Shaggy meme. But anyway. The first episode was better. Yes, it was. But is this one that bad? That's what we're going to find out right after this short break. Intermission. Whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Alright, back to our regularly scheduled program here. Batman and Robin go back. No, they don't go back. They go to Professor Flaky's research facility because that's where Joker and Penguin are going. And they do help Professor Flaky, but Batman and Joker are about to fight here. So Joker and Penguin and Batman and Robin are battling it out while Scooby hops into the flying machine, and we get flying gags all over the place. And if you did not realize by now, Joker and Penguin are the only villains of this episode. As in the first episode, there was an actual villain at the end. So Joker and Penguin are the villains. They get captured by, Batman and Robin, and that ends our episode. But, where's this one rank? Well, I personally think it drags on a lot. So I don't think it's B tier material. But I don't think it's bottom of the C tier either. So I personally think it is behind Laurel and Hardy on the C tier. Alright, moving on. We have the second appearance of the Harlem Globetrotters. And in this appearance, I think, let's see which one this is. This might be the best one. Might be. It's the Loch Ness Monster one. And I personally think this is the better one out of the three of them. Alright, let's get into it. So, Harlem Globetrotters meet the gang. They have a little cook-off. They have a little barbecue. Then they head over to Shaggy's uncle's place per invite of Shaggy. And this one is fun. So, once they arrive to Shaggy's uncle's place, they just hang out for a bit. And his uncle tells him about the weird things happening with the lock, people leaving, and the Minuteman ghost. And another ancient ghost. There's a lot of ghosts in this one. And it's pretty scary. Some of these scenes are actually pretty frightening. And I really think that really puts this one up there, in my personal opinion. Really like this one, definitely. Do I like it so much that's going to be S tier? No. But it is fun. And when they see this guy, the Globetrotters of what they're classic. But these villains are actually pretty frightening for just being white colored figures. We have this guy, he's floating, of course, and we have another few guys, which I don't know if we're going to see, but moving on. The gang, after a frightful night without any sleep, go in the morning to get some boats and search for clues on the water side. We never see it this bright in Scooby-Doo. Honestly, it's never really this daytime, It's never this it's never like this. All right. So we see these three guys, and there's three ghosts. I wonder who it is. It's these guys, obviously. And the Harlem Globetrotters, after a lot of frightful expeditions, they go against the Loch Ness Monster, and they come back to Shaggy's uncle's place, tell him about it. They're like, dude, there's a Loch Ness Monster out there. And then they come back at night, because why not come back at night? Of course you want to come back at night. Why? Oh, stupid. And they literally go on a boat at night to really get this guy. Yeah, get the Loch Ness Monster while it's sleeping. Yeah, definitely. But anyway. The rest of the gang hide in a house. Like it's a shack. It's not really a house. And here's our look at the designs here. They are pretty spooky. I'm not gonna lie. They walk over to the house. Oh, they go over there. Oh, they go over there. And they, they start running away when they go up to try to spot them. But where's the Loch Ness Monster? I'm so confused. Anyway, capture them as the free guys, obviously. These guys were trying to scare away everyone to buy the land. And also, they were searching for the gold. What gold? The gold that Shaggy's uncle told them about, but it was never real. So these guys were doing all of this for nothing. That's pretty funny. He even Shaggy's uncle even laughs at them at the end. Yeah. That is funny. Anyway, Harlem Globetrotters' second appearance. Where are we gonna put these guys? I'm thinking back of A tier. That's very, like that's a stretch to put at A tier, but it's not B. I don't think it's B tier, you know. So gotta give it some love, you know. It's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good one. All right. Give me a second here, guys. Hold up. All right. So, next up we have Josie and the Gang. As Shaggy says, it's Josie and the Pussycats. In cartoon Hanna-Barbera, it's a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. It's not a real thing. As I think all of the... No, Batman and Robin aren't real. I mean, they technically are. Who else? Everyone else is... Like, they still have real life counterparts, you know? These guys don't. So this is a in Hanna-Barbera universe band or something like that. So this band of people, sort of, kind of, they're on a boat, and Scooby and the gang go see them. They go say hi, and because of that, this ship is kind of haunted. Now, this is a big group of people. This is a big band. And Josie and the gang help the gang with, like, trying to get these two. Once again, we have an Indian, and then we have a pirate guy. Wait, let's take a good look at this guy. Hold up. Doesn't he look familiar? Doesn't he look familiar? This is the same pirate in the Don Knotts episode. Wow, they reused him already. Gray, I guess, is different from our usual white for these ghosts. They do have some presence to them to make them ghosts. This is a fun episode with all the characters we get to see with Josie and the gang. And the cartoon itself is just like music stuff. I don't know. This episode's weird, to say the least. Yeah, they are shoveling counterfeit money to yeah. So this is another counterfeit money episode. I think we already had a counterfeit money episode, but yes, we have another counterfeit money episode. But yeah, so this one, yeah, big group of people. A lot of them are reused voice actors. We hear like Shaggy's voice actor, Fred's voice actor being reused as some of these characters. But anyway, this episode's fun. There's not much to say about it. Yes, they are counterfeiting. We capture them in the end. After they capture most of the gang. Pretty crazy. But they do the same thing Shaggy and Scooby did by, instead of doing Scooby snacks, they are using money to help the rest of the gang find them. Pretty smart there. And, in the end, of course, they get caught after the gang go back to the ship to capture them. Well, that's just an animation thing with Hanna-Barbera, with what you're saying there, with how they run, the run cycle there. They use so many random designs in the Don Knotts episode, but we're reusing designs in the same show. They're gonna reuse even more, trust me. It's pretty crazy there. Yeah, well, look at all the people. Are we going to get a zoom out here? No. Okay. Yeah, but trust me, there's a lot of people in that group. But yeah, so they play their little show there. We have that's basically the end of the episode. And yeah, it's yeah. It's something. And don't really know what to say about it. But we do have the red background, the red title card background, which we only see in 2 episodes. And the next episode is the second one that has it. So, Josie and the gang don't really like this one. So, I'm going to go top of the D tier with this one. Personally, for me, I don't like it's a weird, confusing episode. It's just like it's a little too cartoony. Can I be released to eat dinner? You can go do whatever you need to do, guys. What do you mean? Next up, we have Scooby-Doo meeting Jeannie and Babu. And once again, these are cartoons from Hanna-Barbera. And I think we're going to see it. No. Yeah, we're going to see it one more time. I don't know why. I don't know why I just assumed that they're all going to be real people, but no. This is the weirdest episode. Actually, this is close to the weirdest episode of the new Scooby-Doo movies. Yeah, so there's actually there is a real Jeannie show. Yeah. But I don't think I think they were based more off of the Hanna-Barbera show. I think. But yeah, Scooby's love struck over this Jeannie that's probably thousands of years old anyway. And we have these 2 guys. So in the actual Jeannie thing, these 2 guys found her or something and they just used her for Jeannie stuff. Jeannie looks like Daphne. No. I don't see that, but okay. Let's fact check here. Let's get a side by side. I don't know if we can get a side by side, but anyway. They go to wherever they went to it's like Egypt maybe. Did they reuse her assets? I don't think they did. Once we get there, we're gonna check that out. Jeannie does not look like Daphne, I don't think. Anyway, Babu is Jeannie in training or something. He's like if Scrappy was a comedic relief, so it's not really a good character. And we have these 2 guys. They're just here, just more characters. But the villain is an evil genie, so a real ghost. A real ghost. No, I'm no joke. This is this is a supernatural episode. I don't know if it's the first supernatural episode, but we do have genie powers. Scooby-Doo loves genie. Yeah, Sandy Duncan too. Yeah, a djinn. Yes, it's a djinn. That's the evil genie. This guy. His design is pretty. Yeah, she does not look like Daphne. I don't think so. But anyway, the djinn is an evil genie, and his design is really like menacing. Honestly, it's pretty. Look at this guy. This big guy. So what he does, he freezes everyone. He takes Jeannie from the gang and puts her in this bottle. And after learning a few more things about there's a prince guy here. He's the prince of this whole Egyptian place. And was it the prince is like his uncle or something is the bad guy, which we're gonna find out about very soon here. And what am I doing, guys? Unprofessional of me. This guy, he's the bad guy, and he's the one who released the djinn to everyone. And after they captured the djinn, where the flip is the djinn, homie? Alright, guys. There he is. And then they save him. They save Jeannie, and Jeannie captures him. Just like that. Just like that. And that is the episode. What are we thinking here? I think, and hot take, that's not even a hot take, this episode's pretty bad. F tier? I don't know about F tier. I think back of D tier. I don't think it's F tier material. It's very close. It's a completely different thing. It's like the Scooby-Doo and Arabian Nights. Like, why do we have this? I don't really like that type of. I don't. It's the vibe. It's just. It's just. And it's supernatural too. It's not even like all of these where it's just a guy in a mask. This is a real thing. Not that that's bad. I'm saying like, this early on, they didn't know what they're doing. This early on, it's kind of confusing. Mark Hamill, Mark Hamill did a ton of voices in Scooby-Doo. He's pretty prominent, side characters, background characters, and villains. And whenever he's like prominent role, I definitely like, I point it out usually. But I didn't know that one. I didn't know he was that character in this episode. Didn't know that. Next up, let's see what we got next. Let's see. We got Tim Conway. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This episode. Tim Conway episode is awesome. Yes, this is. Tim Conway is Tim Conway's a comedian again. But yeah. This episode, basically, Tim Conway is now a coach instead of a comedian at this college that Velma used to go to, or school, not college, it's a school. And the school's getting shut down because of this guy, the ghost of whatever his name is, and ghost of a redhead, I don't know. And he actually is a ghost because he's see-through, as you can see there. And Tim Conway is, oh my gosh, this guy's funny. This episode is hilarious. This episode is such a fun time. It's very, like, his comedic timing is pretty good. We get to meet this character too. He's a very strange character. And then we get to meet the owner of the school and such. And Tim Conway is trying to train Scooby and Shaggy up to be the best sports stars ever. Because they need to win to save the college. But this guy is not letting that happen. And basically, a bunch of hijinks with him chasing him around and whatnot. He's like, as a character, he's not, as a villain, he's not that scary. But his motive is, he's pretty good at like chasing the gang around, trying to capture him. He's pretty good at that. But anyway, they save the day in the end and capture him as, come on, not this guy, this is the owner, and they capture him as two guys. There's two of them. It's that farmhand looking guy and then the owner. My bad, guys, this is the owner. Yes, Fireball McFane. Yes, that's his name. Lazy design. Somewhat, but he was a ghost at some point. He was a floating head at some point. So, yeah, so the owner of the school is actually the bad guy, and he wanted to make the high school a racetrack for betting and such. Anyway, and our episode ends with Tim Conway and Scooby and Shaggy. Well, we have the hologram here for the head, obviously. But yes, Don Addams is our next one. But yes, S tier. You guys are probably like, what the heck is this guy thinking? I don't care about how bad this villain is, because the villain isn't even that bad. It's just a lazy design. But Tim Conway, oh, he stole the show, guys. He stole the show. S tier. I personally really enjoyed this episode. It's not the best, hardly, but it's fun. It's a fun time, and that's what I want to be able to get through a 40-minute Scooby-Doo episode. A lot of these I cannot get through. Anything under, even B tier is hard to get through. So anything like A tier, S tier are actually enjoyable to get through. Yeah. Next up, Don Flippin' Addams. Don Addams. Don Addams. I don't really. Who is? I think he's an actor. And that's about all I know about this guy, so let's look at this episode. Don Addams is an exterminator in this episode. That's the character he takes as the gang. We'll get a bunch of Hollywood houses, just do some sites. They look at some sites and whatnot. Yeah, I think he is an actor. But yes, in this episode, he's an exterminator, and the gang pick him up to go exterminate a rich Hollywood guy's house. So the gang are excited. They're gonna be like, "Ooh, this is gonna be a fancy looking house, huh? This is gonna be pretty nice." No, it's not nice at all. It's pretty run down, because the director guy of this house, like he's a director. He was in the Get Smart TV show. No idea. But yes, this episode is fun. The owner of this house is a director of sorts that directs horror movies. So this is a spooky house, to say the least. It actually is a pretty spooky house, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, time to do some exterminating, as the gang helped Don Addams exterminate this house with another butler. That's pretty spooky looking, as he gets a floating plate to put his card. Don Addams really takes this character and really makes him a funny guy. He's like, yeah, every time I exterminate, I'm going to make like this much money and stuff, and the gang makes him excited. He has a very cartoony voice as well, yeah. But it already looks staged. That's, I don't know about that one. It's not staged. He's not acting here in this episode. He's actually just an exterminator. He's not who he is. All right. Before we go to him making money from exterminating, let's see if we can pause timing here. Pause right there. Remember, chat. Remember what I said. To remember Swampy Pete, right? You guys said I said remember Swampy Pete. You guys see this? It's Swampy Pete. Why is there a painting of Swampy Pete in this guy's house? I have no idea. More reused crap, and he's real. What the flip? It's so weird. Anyway. Shaggy and Scooby get scared of a floating hand, and Don Addams scares them as well, because it's Shaggy and Scooby. As you can see, they're scared of everything, any movement. But and then we have that guy. You saw that guy? Did everyone see that? Chat. See that guy? Hold up. Please, no, what the flip, man. I'm really trying my best here, guys. I'm trying to get the freeze frame, you know. Come on. All right, perfect. It worked. I figured it out. Okay, chat. We have this fish guy. Does he look familiar? I didn't tell you guys to pay attention, but in the first Batman and Robin episode, he popped out of the in the haunted, like he was an attraction in the haunted house that the gang were in when Joker and Penguin were in there. Anyway. Another reused thing. I think a little bit of a recolor there, but yeah. Anyway, after way more hijinks with all the actors, props, and stuff, because this is a director, so he has all his stuff from his movies. We finally figure out what's going on. After a little bit more exterminating, we see this guy. Spooky, right? Chat, there's no villain in this episode. Yep, there's no villain in this episode. No villain. And, yeah. Yeah. So, we have our butler guy. Now, this butler guy is directing this guy. Who is this guy? That's the director of the house. This guy owns the house. He's in his costume right now. So, technically there is no villain. And it's this guy. And flipping Don Addams catches him and doesn't get arrested because he's just scaring. He's barely. It is weird. Like I said, if you watch this episode, you will be like, what the heck is going on? This is weird. Don Addams' episode is funny. It's a funny one. But it's, I don't know. It's gotta go. I feel like it's a weird episode, so I really don't think... I'm thinking... above... above... I'm just gonna put top of D tier, honestly. Top of D tier. Top of D tier. It's better than all these other D tier ones. But it is good. It's just weird. It's good, but it's weird. Alright, next up we have... Hello. Speed Buggy. Great. Hi, Speed Buggy. Speed Buggy. Wait a minute. What's after Speed? I'm skipping along here. I just have to see something. What? What? Chat, I need a... What the flip? Okay. So next up is Speed Buggy. But before we do Speed Buggy, for some reason I did not... Okay, I think we already passed the episode at this point. For some reason, I did not compile clips for the Harlem Globetrotters episode. I don't know how I missed it out of all of these episodes. I have no idea how I missed it. But we have the third episode of the Harlem Globetrotters, which is the haunted house episode, where the Harlem Globetrotters go to a haunted house and basically get attacked by all these weird things, like actual just like weird things, and we get these masked... It's more masked, like hooded guys, right? But this is the episode where the Don Knotts episode, I was like, there's a bunch of these designs that they never used, so they just use them in this episode. Well, they reused those designs that they never used in this episode too. Just a few of them in some select scenes. And yeah, it was something. And this episode is the worst out of all three of these, so it's gonna have to go in C tier, above Laurel and Hardy. I don't have any clips for it, so just take my word for it, or watch the video on all the episodes. Next up we have Speed Buggy. Now, once again, Speed Buggy. This is a Hanna-Barbera cartoon that's not fully a ripoff of Scooby-Doo, but it is funny that a not fully ripoff of Scooby-Doo is in the new Scooby-Doo movies. Let's check it out. Scooby-Doo meeting Speed Buggy. So, yes, this series came out around this time as well, and it's because, you know, Scooby-Doo was popular, so they're like, let's soft launch this cartoon with this episode of the collab. And this is the Weird Winds of Winona. Yes, I think so. And it's pretty simple to the Fogs of Juneberry, where there's a wind happening in this town, like how Juneberry had the fog. So the gang has to investigate what's causing the wind. Pretty simple there. And we get to meet Speed Buggy. And Speed Buggy is a pretty iconic Hanna-Barbera property, as he is a talking car. A talking car. Yes. Anyway, this episode takes place a lot in a cave, but it does have a little library scene where they try to figure out what's with the wind, you know? And they're in a cave for most of it, though. They are in a cave, and we see our villain. What did they do here? Yes, they had Funky Phantom in Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. And if you guys are new to my live streams, every time I do a live stream that's going to be on a Scooby-Doo series, I'm doing them in order. So next up is going to be the Scooby-Doo show. and I'm going to rank every episode of each cartoon. So, Scooby-Doo Guess Who is the last of the series, so it's going to be a long time before I get to that ranking for the live streams. But yes, anyway, guys, check out this villain. It's just the color swapped of the villain from the first episode of the Scooby-Doo Meets Batman. What a villain, guys. Okay, yep, that's the villain. Yeah. Anyway, they're the ones causing the wind thing. There's multiple of them, and where's the wind thing? Let's see if I can find it here. It's this weird machine. Oh yeah. Also, there's like 4 of them. There's not 2 of these guys. There's 4 of them. Holy. Wait, there's a funny scene here. I gotta find it now. Let's see if I can find it. So, like, there's 2 of them there. It'll be so funny if I find it. They gang catch them, like, playing cards. Like, imagine that. You're the villain and the gang just see you guys playing cards. Like, it's funny. Alright, I don't know if I can find it, though. Let's just see how good I am at looking at finding this. I know I have it in the clips. I really thought I had it here. But yeah, it's pretty funny though. Like they catch them. Anyway. There's the wind machine. There it is. And after they catch all of these goobers and they find a map of Winona, they're using the wind to scare everyone off so they can buy the town, and those are like blueprints of the town so they can do this, that, and the other thing. Cass Elliot is our next episode. But before we go to Cass Elliot, let's rank Speed Buggy. You should have made one with the Archies. Yeah. The Archies is kind of what Scooby was trying to be when it came out. Like, that was the original idea. But they didn't do that. Anyway, Scooby-Doo and Speed Buggy. It's gonna have to go in the... I don't really care for this one at all. I might have to do middle of D tier, above the Three Stooges' second appearance. So we have 2 more episodes, Cass Elliot and Dick Van Dyke, and Cass Elliot this episode's really good, but it's pretty crazy of an episode. Let's get into it. So with this one, the gang are just going around the city. I think they are supposed to, like, they're going to actually meet Cass Elliot, and they go to her candy factory because I guess she just has a candy factory. And at least our villains are like actually unique today. Yeah, so this one's a lot of like food eating, like, oh dude, chocolate candy, yum yum yum. Anyway, our villains are slime monsters made out of candy. I think they're made out of candy. They're like green sludge monsters, I think. Yeah. Anyway, these sludge monsters. If they were candy, Shaggy and Scooby would have eaten them, right? Probably. Something like that. There's 2 of them. And they use bubble gum to, like, kind of, like, just give himself away. But yeah, there's a lot of gags chasing this down the other thing. Cass Elliot gets stuck somewhere, I think. The king have to help her. But other than that, what in the run cycle? Holy, that's funny. Oh, that's even funnier. What the heck? What the heck? But anyway, they land in chocolate, and Cass Elliot has a helper, like it's like a business associate in this episode. He's kind of a suspect. But there's 2 of these. Man, I forgot this episode. Okay, my bad. We'll see what this ending has to show. Oh my. Yeah, so these blob mutants are actually kind of unique, honestly. They're kind of something. The gang capture them in an ice cream sundae capture thing. I don't know how they did that. I don't know how they did that one. Okay, it's gold. Okay, so this one is another gold scheme. Like, this is like the 5th one we've seen this series. Like, it's always the same stuff. And they were packaging the gold bars. I don't know how, is that gold, or how the heck did Velma break it? Huh? What? You can't break gold like that, Velma. It has to be gold though, probably. Anyway, it was some guys doing something. Anyway, I remember the episode, but for the most part. So, Cast Elliot, this is a good one. It's a good episode. Favorite? I don't know about that. I'm gonna put it back with A tier. I know I explained it like horrible, like that was the worst explaining I've ever done, but it is A tier material for sure. I really enjoy it. Gold powder, maybe it's gold powder. Moving on to our last episode with Dick Van Dyke. This one is a fair adventure for everyone who loves fairs. Now, let's get into it. So, this episode's like, it's like strange. The gang go to Dick Van Dyke's fair. Why does he have a fair, first of all? This guy's like an actor, I think. Why do you have a fair, bud? I don't know. It's kind of weird. But anyway. What? So strange. But anyway. So we have our monster villain of this is just a ghost of a strongman. Who's just a strongman in the end. But anyway, the gang enter the fair, and it's like Charlie the Robot a little bit. But this faceless strongman. Yeah, they did bring back Sonny, Duncan, and Cher for Scooby and Guess Who. I don't know why they didn't get Dick Van Dyke. Well, this episode I really is like forgettable too. And Sandy, Duncan, and Cher, their episodes are like really popular compared. So I think that might be why, you know. But anyway, bunch of hijinks, bunch of goofy stuff. This seems scary. This like floating head, like this is never explained. Probably just a projection, but dude, imagine you just walk into a photo booth. This guy's just Velma's speechless, guys. I'm speechless. It's pretty scary. This is kind of a meme a little bit. I think it's kind of it's become a meme where Fred's in here and the fan turns on. Like it doesn't like it, he does like if you guys know, you know. If you know, you know. But anyway. Dick Van Dyke is also like he was doing what Don Knotts was doing, where he was like running everything on the fair, like he was changing character and whatever, you know. Anyway, they find him in a cave again. What is with being in caves and every single thing? Anyway, the gang finds a strongman, but he's actually just a guy. But then there's a strongman there, so like, huh? Is it him? Is it not him? Who is it? That is the question. And we'll never get an answer because I forgot how the episode ends. But I think it's just this guy trying to steal the fair, this, that, and the other thing. And that's the episode. Scooby-Doo, Dick Van Dyke. If you like fairs, if you really like Foul Play in Funland, I guess this one you're gonna like. But it's super drag. Like it's a drag. There's so much filler. There's so much filler. And it was the last episode, so I guess they just gave up. I think they gave up with this one. I think, yeah, very boring, yes. With that said, gonna go back. No, it's gonna go in front of Jeannie. It's gotta go in front of Jeannie. And there's our ranking. So, from the top, let's check out this ranking here, guys. We have S tier, Sonny and Cher, Tim Conway. A tier, we have... Okay, actually, before I even do that, the ones I suggest you watch are the S tier and A tier, which are Sonny and Cher, Tim Conway, Batman and Robin, first appearance, the Harlem Globetrotters, second appearance, Cast Elliot. And then in B tier, we have the Addams Family, Don Knotts' first appearance, the Harlem Globetrotters' first appearance in the Phyllis Diller episode. In C tier, we have Sandy Duncan, Jonathan Winters, the Three Stooges' first appearance, the Harlem Globetrotters' third appearance, Laurel and Hardy, the second appearance of Batman and Robin, the second appearance of Don Knotts, and then in D tier, we have Don Addams, Josie and the Pussycats, Speed Buggy, we have Three Stooges' second appearance, holy crap, okay, Davy Jones, Dick Van Dyke, and Jeannie and Babu. And then finally in F tier, Jerry Reed. Nothing against Jerry Reed, just the episode was horrible. Alright. Any questions about the ranking or the new Scooby-Doo movies? Got a little bit more time here and then we can call it a stream. Pretty good ranking, honestly. I mean, these episodes are not the best. So having one in F tier is kind of like very surprising. I was expecting a lot more to go in F tier, honestly. But other than that, I think that will be it for today. Do 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 do.